It was a slow day at the hotel. I sat at the front desk watching YouTube videos with a coworker. A police car pulled up and an officer came into the lobby. The officer asked if we checked in a white male wearing a blue shirt and blue jeans. We weren't sure if we had anyone by that description. The officer took out a photo and let us make a photocopy of it. The image was very hard to make out. He told us he had escaped from a mental health facility about an hour ago and got a hold of some clothes. If he comes looking for a room to check him into one, and call the police. The officer left and went back to checking local businesses for him. We sat there in shock. We were the only hotel in that part of town, and he would be looking for a place to stay. The only question I had was, how will this guy pay for the room if he shows up? Are we just supposed to give him a room and not ask for any money? The front desk clerk said I guess so. Around 6 o'clock, we noticed a man walking towards the hotel. We both looked at each other and said, of course he comes to our hotel. He had on a blue shirt with white stripes across it. As he got closer to the hotel, the front desk clerk started to pace back and forth. Once he stepped onto our parking lot and headed for the front door. The clerk got scared and hid in the staff laundry room. He came up to the desk and said he forgot his key in his room. I stared at him, afraid he was the guy. So I tried to type on the computer while watching him to make sure he didn't do anything weird. I asked for his room number. To my surprise, he was a guest. His room came up as occupied, but there wasn't a photo of him in the system. He looked at me oddly when I looked back at him. He asked if everything was all right. I stood up from the chair and asked if he was the one. He said, "One what?" "You're the crazy one." He stepped back and asked if I was okay. "No man, you escaped from the institution, didn't you?" "I'm calling the cops." He stood in the lobby and said, "For what?" "My in-laws not liking me?" I stopped and said, "What are you talking about?" He asked me what I was talking about. He explained he lived up the hill from us, but was staying in the hotel because his in-laws were in town and they didn't get along. I then explained a person escaped and was in the area. He was very understanding. I made him a new room key and sat back down and breathed a sigh of relief. The clerk came back into the office. We decided to close the gate for the rest of the day and watch the cameras. Around 9 o'clock that night, we called the police and asked if they ever found the guy. The dispatcher said they picked him up at a fast food restaurant around 4. I yelled into the phone, "Thanks for letting us know. A lot of people have blue shirts." I slammed the phone down and said this is the dumbest, scariest day ever.
Talk about bad timing, that poor guy.
Subscribe if you have a blue shirt.